Next up, we're going to hear from our fourth and last keynote of today. He's one of the co-founders of Felyx, the electrical scooter sharing platform. But before we hear from him, we'll first have a little clip to show what the world of Felyx looks like. Yes, we are here in the final hour with our final keynote. This man graduated with a master's in financial economics in Rotterdam in 2014 already, then briefly tried out a career in the corporate world at Spark Optimus, but soon pursued the entrepreneurial adventure with his, at the time, roommate Quinten Selforst into Felyx 2016 that was, and he is now here to share his most important lessons with you in a short presentation, but we are live. I'm keeping my eyes on the chat, so if you have a question for our final keynote, make sure you enter it live and I'll relay it on your behalf. Maarten Poot, welcome.
Thank you.
And please inspire our audience.
Yeah, thanks for having me today. I will gladly share some more information on our journey of Felyx. And in the next slides, you can briefly see some information about Felyx, and then I'll go to the main topic. So Felyx is a shared electric scooter platform as a new urban mobility concept. We offer currently 3,000 scooters in 9 cities in the Netherlands and 1 in Belgium. And we all do this through an intuitive app. You can register in the app, you can locate scooters, you can activate scooters and deactivate scooters. And we do this with a team of currently 130 people already. So we have been on quite a journey with this whole team to make Felyx to where we are today. So I would like to, in this presentation, go over the story behind Felyx, because when you raise a new funding round, you see all these nice headlines, but there's also a story behind it, ups and downs, ins and outs behind the journey of a startup. And I gladly share that today with you in this talk. So, starting at the beginning, where did the idea of Felyx come from? That was actually when my roommate at the time and I were driving around from one end of the city to the other end of the city in a shared car, and we got stuck in traffic. And we thought, that's frustrating. What's the most efficient way to get from A to B? We were being overtaken by people that were cycling and were people that were on a scooter. And we thought, okay, why are there no shared electric scooters? And we thought about it a bit some more. We did some math about it, and we thought, okay, maybe this is a really good idea. We always had the vision of being entrepreneurial. And when you get the idea that ticks all the boxes, you maybe have to do it. So we decided to really go for it and start our business. Well, how does that look like? You just really start off with an empty desk, with a computer, with a cell phone, and you start making your plans. You start making your plans, you start doing research, you build a financial model in Excel, you build a business plan in PowerPoint, and that's really how it got started and how you try to build a business. Back in those days, we were also participating in startup competitions to get some traction, to get some attention, and won some prizes, which was, of course, nice. And in those days, we were also still figuring out what our company should be named. So Scoot City passed the possibilities, and on my way, and we settled at Felyx. So when we got the plans a bit further down the road, we also got in touch with the former founders of a car-sharing company that sold it, and we thought that might be potential investors that suit our company. So we got in touch with them, we got some meetings with them, and here you can see that we took on a call with them and asked them for an investment of 1 million euros. And of course they said no, because we were not that far progressed with our plans, and we were still a bit too early. And that's what you get a lot when you try to build a business. You get a lot of no's, a lot of people that don't want to invest, that don't want to do business with you. But you have to persevere and continue, because otherwise you can't get the idea off the ground. So what we also did back in those days was that we traveled throughout Europe to meet people in the field, people that knew something about mopeds, people that knew something about sharing, about technology. And we spoke with a lot of people, tried to get inputs for our plans, try to validate things. And here you see that we met with somebody in a hotel lobby in London. And some of these conversations are fruitful and some of them are not. What we also did was we visited 2 cities where there were the first pilots with moped sharing. That was in Paris and in Barcelona. And we tried those concepts and we validated the idea, if we liked it, what we could learn from it. And we actually really liked it. And there were still improvements, of course, to be made because those were also pilots. But it showed us that there was potential for this idea. And that it didn't make us afraid that there was already some movements in this field abroad. Yeah, we continued on startup competitions because we also had to get in a little bit of money because we didn't have any salaries at the time. So when you win some prize money in startup competitions, it helps you through the day. And also to finance, for example, some things that you do for the company. So what we did to visualize the concept a bit more was that we bought an electric scooter, like a regular electric scooter with a key. We wrapped it in green. We put our logo on it, and we showed in a commercial that the concept was really great and really working. Well, it was just a regular scooter. So it's also showing that you have to fake it till you make it to really validate and show your proposition towards potential investors or maybe the media, and that's what we did and how we tried to get it off the ground. So finally, we were able to raise money from the first angel investors, and that helped us to really formalize the business, set up the entities, and go to the notary to arrange everything, which was, of course, a big step and a big relief, because we were almost at a point where we thought, okay, we're never going to raise money, we're never going to get this idea off the ground. But luckily, ultimately, when you persevere, we were able to do it. And then we thought it was also a good idea to announce our plans in the media. So we were very lucky that that was picked up really well by Dutch press and Dutch. We also gave television interviews, and we did a competition between us and a shared car and public transport, all with this fake electric scooter. But it helped a lot, and it showed that there was potential and that there was a lot of rumor and buzz around it. And then in the summer of 2017, the first scooters arrived. We ordered 108 scooters, 3 trucks full of scooters. And it was really a big hassle to get everything unloaded, unpacked, licensed, moved around everywhere, and make the scooters roadworthy. But we managed to do it with a small team and with some hard work and getting your hands dirty. We had the first batch of scooters that were available for Amsterdam. And then we had another challenge, because we had these scooters at the industrial zone in Amsterdam, and we had to get them into the city. So what we did was that we invited our friends and friends of friends to come and pick up all the scooters. So they were invited to try the app, to pick up the scooters and to drive around for free a little time, only asking them to come to this remote place to pick up the scooter and drive it into the city. But it really helped a lot, because the scooters were all spread out throughout the city quite nicely. And it also created a little buzz, because we also invited some influencers to pick up scooters and put it on social media. And yeah, that helped to create a little buzz around the concept, while we were still in the waiting list mode and still in the soft launch mode. So, what also happens when you start up with a plan is that sometimes the timelines don't come together. So here you see that our charging location wasn't ready to charge the batteries, so we had to charge all the batteries in our partially in our apartment on the second floor in Amsterdam, and those batteries weighed 15 kilograms apiece, and our entire apartment was full of batteries with chargers that were making a lot of noise and a lot of heat. So it was really a bit messy, but that's how things go in the beginning of the phase. You have to be creative and you have to adopt a bit. And probably the electricity tenant thought that we were running a marijuana shop, but it was just electric batteries. And what we also did at night is that we swapped the electric batteries of the vehicles. So we were working daytime on the business, and then at night we had to swap the empty batteries in this van. And yeah, it's quite intense, but it also shows you all parts of the business that you're involved with, so you can also make better decisions later on when you, for example, hire people that do that task. And then, yeah, really bad event came. Is that because we were just launching in Amsterdam, we were just off the ground, that we got a little traction. And then this letter from the city of Amsterdam came saying that we had to stop our business because they had a lot of complaints about shared bikes that were also launched in the city at that same time. And they were mostly sitting idle, of poor quality, and causing a lot of nuisance. And so they said, okay, those bikes have to go. But then those bike companies said, okay, what about Felyx? They also should go then, because it's quite similar business. And although we had lots of talks with the city before our launch, they sent us this letter that we had to stop our business. So that was really stressful at the time, because we just invested a lot in scooters, hired the first people. But yeah, we wrote a letter to the city together with our attorney of like 100 pages, saying that all this evidence why we should remain. And to date, we were able to remain in the city, but we were never able to expand until they formally gave us a permit, which was only last summer. So it took a real while. But on the picture on the right top side, you see me defending our business in front of the councilmen in the city hall. And it was really a tense period for the business, of course. It also made us focus on other cities. So here you see that we launched in Rotterdam. We also launched in The Hague after, and we had quite some success doing those launches in these other cities. And they were a bit more welcoming to the concept. So that was great. And we were confident. Okay, we're going to roll this out. We're going to grow bigger, and we're going to go to the next city. So as you can see, the journey has been quite diverse. It has been intense. It has been with ups and downs, together with a great team. Here you see some photos of the initial team, which was a really small group of people. And of course, we also had a lot of fun. I hope this story of Felyx and the background gives you some inspiration for maybe also starting your own concept, your business one day. And I was glad I could share it today with you.
Thank you very much, Maarten. Well done, well done. Strange in front of these cameras, but I see we still have our audience with us very lively. Thanks for sharing the ups and the downs. I was wondering, listen to these stories, the council making you illegal. What is currently driving you? Where do you pull the energy to keep battling these downs? Because it's easy said, it's ups and downs, but you need to go through the downs.
Yeah, I think that should be really inherent in your drive as an entrepreneur. So you want to make this a success, and you want to grow the product and the business. And you really want to go places, and if somebody comes in your way, it won't let you down. You just you stride and you continue, and because you're working so hard on this, so So you already put in so much energy and time and money that if something comes your way, you will have to challenge it, and that's how.
And what would you say is that driver of energy for you? Is it seeing the idea come to life? Is it indeed I've already invested so much time and money, this is not going to fail? Is it the, I don't know, electrical scooter? Where is the kick for you?
I think what is really great in our product is that it's like a consumer product, and you see total strangers using your product in front of your house, in the streets, driving around, having fun, and that's really motivating. That you see that this concept works and that people enjoy using your product and get on your mopeds. That provides me a lot of
Back
energy.
to the theme of impact that we discussed earlier in the debate. You really see something happening in the world around you, and it was your idea. It's your energy that made that happen. Yeah. Question from Rick Cotter coming in live about competition. How are you trying to stay ahead? Are you worrying about competition?
Well, I think this market for sharing and shared mopeds is still developing, and it's bigger. The demand is bigger than the supply. So I'm not too much worried about competition, because I think the demand is there, and there's more demand than supply. So we can all grow the pie together.
Exactly.
So
the fact that the competition is showing up means there's a market, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't come after you.
We were already lucky that we were without competition in the Netherlands for 2 or 3 years. That's part of life.
Exactly, and it should be reassuring to some extent, Rick. If you're in a market, you see competitors coming, this is a market. Question from Frank Oudelaar. How did you make the app or platform and technology when you guys didn't have the technological know-how? Oh yeah, typical Delft question. See these guys from Rotterdam, Amsterdam. How do they do it? How did you get that skill set in your team?
Yeah, so we also looked what was out there and where we could partner. So we also have some software partners with some technology that we license. So we build upon that. You investigate what is out there in the market. You build upon that technology, and then gradually in-house everything. Because I do think having everything in-house is also the competitive edge.
Exactly. So you first partnered and then brought it in with your early investments or something.
Yeah.
Exactly. Practical question from Nick Broekaerts. He says, so how do you guys collect feedback on the app? Do you have like real-time monitoring of what people do, or how do you make it better?
So we get lots of feedback through reviews in the store, or through customer service, or to chat. So we are available on a lot of channels. And sometimes we also do surveys to specific people. We try to get as much feedback as possible. Yeah, that's really important.
Just the regular, keep your eyes and ears open to what users tell you. No.
And I think, for example, what we also have, we have our own operations. We have our own battery swapping teams, and so they're also in the streets and hearing things and seeing things. And sometimes people touch them on the shoulder, saying, "Okay, is this scooter yours?" And I thought about this. So that's just really useful. Yeah.
Exactly. Interesting question from Sam van Tuin, last one from the audience that came in really early. You shared your origination story. You were in a car sharing, a car to go, frustrated about the traffic. Now he's asking, and it's actually a branding compliment again, I think, are you looking on implementation of the same sharing concept with cars? Which would be interesting full circle.
Yeah. So I think it's interesting to offer multiple modalities within one concept, because ultimately people have to go from A to B, and sometimes they have to take a car, another a bike, another a scooter. So that could be a direction where we're going. I think currently we're focusing on mopeds. Maybe we can do some partnerships where you do see car sharing in your app, and then you're directed to the other app.
Yeah.
So I think there still will be developments in that field. Yeah.
Well, if we listen to Ron Simpson, really knowing what your core is, you should decide: is Felyx a scooter brand? Is it a sharing brand, or is it a mobility brand? Yeah. Right. That would determine.
So for now we focus on mopeds.
Yeah. Mopeds, you say? Sorry for.
Yes, scooters and mopeds. Sometimes it's confusing for international viewers. But I think on a midterm or longer term it can be broader. Yeah.
Exactly, clear.
Yeah.
Final question. If you could go back to that Maarten in 2016 at the start of this journey, what would be the most important advice you would tell him?
Well, persevere. Just really persevere and believe in your ideas and continue. And that's what we did, and luckily that worked. And practically was with regard to the municipality that we had a lot of appointments with the municipality, and we had agreed that okay, you're welcome, but we didn't have a formal letter with a signature. That would be very nice to have had.
Exactly.
Otherwise, we could have.
If you talk to organizations who create laws and rules, make sure you have everything on paper.
Legal is an annoying part, but it's very important also.
Exactly, clear. Thank you very much for sharing, Maarten Poot, co-founder of Felyx, and thank you very much for submitting.